the Raiders versus Chiefs preview. Michael, why don't you tell me how you're feeling? Are you feeling confident that you guys are going to go in there and no, actually it's in Vegas, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me see.
Yeah,
I'm
so
pretty sure it is.
no victory laps around Arrowhead this week, for, no matter what, win or lose.
Yeah, that was. Man,
That
I
was
was
weird
thinking
and big.
about that like last week or 2 weeks ago. We were talking about like teams getting like a little. It was the cigars, right, for the Raiders. We were talking about that and like, or like, I think the cigars are fine to a degree, but circling a stadium and letting the Chiefs see that, like, that's, or like, for example, like, okay, you smoke the cigars after beating the Giants. It kind of looks like, wow, really, for beating the Giants? And we all know it's because, oh, McDaniels got fired and they won a game. It's like, fuck yeah. If you smoke cigars after every win, it's just because you won. It's not because you beat that team. Or it's not just because, oh, McDaniels is gone, right? It's we won. But when you specifically beat the Chiefs and you decide to tell the bus driver, hey, do an extra circle around the stadium, please. The Chiefs see that and they go, oh, wait till next time, guys. Just wait till next time. You know? You know what I mean? That's stupid.
Oh, yeah.
So,
And the Chiefs were
yeah.
actually a team who could do something about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they still are. So, again, I'm pulling up right now if my internet will speed up. I'm pretty sure they're playing at home. This is okay.
Yeah, no, I'm confident that
Yes, they're playing at home. Yeah. So, I mean, just like the Dolphins game, I want so badly to say, oh man, I think the Raiders are going to win this game. And the one thing I'll say, other than everything I said about the Dolphins game, which if you're watching this as an individual video, feel free to check out the Raiders versus Dolphins recap and you'll get a lot of my thoughts there. But this defense can potentially keep them in this game. They need to get Jacobs going. They have to stop the run. It's the same thing as what I said in the preview for the Dolphins game, because these are high scoring offenses. But the difference here is that the Chiefs have a really good defense. Like, might be sneaky, like top 5 defense this year. And you know, this Raider offense has had its struggles against the Jets. They barely scored 1 touchdown. Against the Dolphins, they scored only 1 touchdown. Giants game was good, but that's the Giants, right? So I don't see it for the Raiders against the Chiefs. But the one thing I will say, they are, aren't they?
The Raiders' next 3 games are at home. Of course they're.
I know the
They
Vikings
are.
game is. Oh, wow, they are. Yeah. And that was the thing I was going to say is they're 2-0 at home with Antonio Pierce. So if home field advantage is a thing for this team, perhaps they have a shot. But I just think everything is pointing towards the Chiefs winning this game. They're coming off a big loss to the Eagles that I just realized like an hour ago put them down to the 2 seed. They need a win, right? They're going to come in here and they're going to be feeling a little bit more desperate than they would have if they had beat the Eagles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean the Raiders, if they want to make the playoffs, they're really desperate. But again, I think the Chiefs they are built the proper way to beat the Raiders right now. So, what do you think?
Okay, what I think is that this might be the worst Chiefs team that we've seen since Mahomes took over. Even the year that they lost they lost the Super Bowl, they still made it. They just like kind of fell apart at the end when they lost like 2 starting linemen going into the Super Bowl game. Yeah, they've been to 3 straight Super Bowls, huh? No. They lost to the Bengals that one year. right? The Bengals went
Right.
on to the Super Bowl. Or
Yeah, so
did they
it's been
lose to the Bengals in
Chiefs,
the playoffs that year?
Bengals, Chiefs. Yeah, yeah, because I don't know. I don't.
No, I think
I
it
don't
was
remember.
Chiefs. No, Chiefs, Bengals, Chiefs. It was Chiefs, Bengals, Chiefs. Because
That sounds right.
yeah, because I remember having some sort of satisfaction that Brady was able to, or the Buccaneers were able to kick the Chiefs' ass after like the season prior the Niners lost the Super Bowl to to the
Right.
Chiefs. But I would say that this is the worst that the Chiefs have been since sort of their current. I don't know if you want to call it a dynasty yet, but since their current like team under Mahomes, they don't
Right.
have wide receivers. Like Rashee Rice is pretty solid, but other than that, you're not really getting much help out of Kadarius Toney. You're not getting much help out of. I mean, is Sky Moore even playing anymore? Like
I
he
don't
was
even
like
know.
super hyped up before the season, like
Yeah.
as if he was going to be one of Mahomes' top options. Um, Watson isn't playing well. Like it's just like Mahomes, a bunch of nobodies, and in Taylor Swift's boyfriend. Like Travis Kelce hasn't even been Travis Kelce, and the reason why is because he's been sort of banged up. Like he's not washed. I'm not gonna call Kelce washed, but like he's just been his his mind hasn't been entirely on football. There's been a lot of distractions for him this year, given that he's been in that Pfizer commercial, and he and Aaron Rodgers have been going at it on the whole vaccine thing. I mean, which is super minor, but it's like a little. There is a group of fans that will not let him forget that he's in that commercial, and then obviously he's dating that. I mean, maybe we might get so much backlash, but what's that girl's name? The girl that Travis Kelce made popular? No, I'm just playing. Swifties are gonna come after me. No, he's really been sort of busy with Taylor Swift, to say the least, because
Yeah.
that's all everybody's talking about. And then he's got his
And
podcast with his brother.
right.
And
And I mean, commercials with his brother. I mean, he seems like
he's a busy guy.
he's a busy guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then he even came out this week saying that he's thought about retirement more than people know.
Right.
And that's the thing. In Rocky, Mickey always said women weaken the legs, but I always thought like, oh, what's funny is like we say that, and this year he was dealing with that knee injury early on, right? And then he's dating Taylor Swift now, but I always feel like it's a dangerous spot for a guy to feel comfortable. Right now, he probably feels more love than he's ever felt because Taylor Swift fans. I mean, it's a lot of pressure, but they seem to be supporting him because they dug up all his previous tweets and everything, and he passed the background check, like the very thorough background check so far. But it's hard to just solely focus on football when you got so much going on. Like he's getting super comfortable and he's becoming sort of civilian rather than having that edge to him that, where football is the most important thing to him. And I'm not saying that football is not the most important thing to him. So Travis Kelce, if you ever watch this show, I love you. You're on my fantasy team. Don't blow it for me. But I understand why it's hard too, because he's getting double covered. He's the only person that really the Chiefs have to throw to. He's like their one weapon that opposing defenses need to focus on. Like the Raiders this week need to make sure that Travis Kelce doesn't get going. And I think that the Raiders might have what it takes to, ensure that he doesn't have a huge game. So in that regard, the Raiders just really need to do what they've been doing on defense ever since Antonio Pierce took over. If they can neutralize Travis Kelce, they can almost nullify Patrick Mahomes, at least the advantage that he gives you, because his receivers has just been bad. Valdez-Scantling last week dropped the game-winning touchdown against the Eagles. I think Travis Kelce might have been like on the inside, like, oh, thank God, because he was probably thinking everybody's going to forget that I fumbled, and I was going to be one of the reasons why we lost the game, but now it was MVS's fault. But still, I don't know if I can bet against the Chiefs. Their defense is actually good this year. Their defense has actually been very, I know that I said this might be the weakest they've been. Definitely on offense.
Definitely on offense.
On defense, this might be the stronger Chiefs defenses that they've had, throughout the regime. So it's kind of weird to gauge that balance on whether they're good or not. But the whole Chiefs thing has been their best defense has just been a constant offense. Yeah. And right now they're kind of out of whack. They haven't gotten their rhythm yet. And, it's just not there yet. It's not clicking on offense. Mahomes is turning the ball over a lot. And,
their receivers lead the league in drops.
Yeah.
So
my prediction, I would not be shocked if the Raiders were able to win this game, but I can't pick them to win. I'm sorry. I'm picking the Chiefs because I just think that the Chiefs, all in all, they can probably turn it on when they need to, and they really need this game. And I know the Raiders probably need this game even more, if they really want to make the playoffs. But the Raiders, their 2 wins have been against not so good opponents, or at least under Antonio Pierce, have been not, against not so good opponents. And they played well, to their credit.
Not so good offenses.
Yeah.
Giants
not so good offenses. But you're not playing against, Daniel Jones only played 2 games. Who played after Daniel Jones in that game? Was it Tommy DeVito?
Yeah.
You're not playing against Tommy DeVito. You're not playing against third string Zach Wilson.
Right. You're playing against the guy that might end out with the label of best of all time.
Yeah, you're playing against 2-time Super Bowl MVP, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and I think that's the one thing I'll disagree with you on. Maybe you said it differently. You kind of cut out when you said it, but I don't think there's not very many ways to neutralize Patrick Mahomes. Like, he is inevitable. He will find a way out of the pocket when they apply pressure. He will sneak his way into a 15-yard gain when he scrambles. It's like everything he does is perfect most of the time. Occasionally he has his dumb throws, but so does every quarterback. But even some of his dumb throws, it's like, oh, picked, and they drop it. It's like, this dude, everything works out in his favor, it feels like. But obviously he didn't win every Super Bowl that he played in, so. But point being, like, even if his receivers are dropping all the passes in the world, I still think Mahomes is Mahomes and he'll get it done, Now, again, home game for the Raiders. They still have yet to face them in Kansas City. If you're going to beat the Chiefs, it's going to be this Sunday, because I don't think you're going to beat them in Kansas City. And then the other thing is, I think there's going to be a lot of red in the stadium, because I think the Chiefs fans really like to show up to Allegiant Stadium. Like, they love to smear that in our faces, I think. So I don't know how that will play into it, but that's another aspect.
You guys are just lucky, for the fans watching the game at home. You're lucky that the game is not on Sunday Night Football. And do you know why?
I don't know why.
Let me introduce you to my friend. This is Chris Collinsworth. This is Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, no, for real.
I mean, like
Collinsworth, man. Fuck.
do we know anybody who likes Chris Collinsworth as an announcer? I know I don't like him. I mean, my dislike for him was definitely a lot worse several years ago. You know, when he was just like he would absolutely like gobble up the Seahawks, right? Oh,
Yeah.
Richard Sherman, you know, like
Now
oh my
this
God,
is a
like
guy.
no, this is a guy, you know, like I mean, he's Patrick Mahomes. Like, yeah, Mahomes throws.
Oh, what a throw from Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, you know, he throws it to, you know, he's like throws it away. Wow, would you look at that? I mean, he's throwing the ball away, and I mean, I would do anything to be on the receiving end of that ball. You know, he's just.
I wish he would throw it up in the announcer's booth.
Yeah, I bet he could. You know, like he's Patrick Mahomes. He's got a strong enough arm.
Yeah.
That's God. Really. You have to admit you're thankful that you're not watching this on primetime on Sunday Night Football.
It's funny because on Christmas we play them, and I'm pretty sure it's the night game. But I don't know if it's a Saturday or Sunday, and I don't know who's carrying it. It could be the Sunday Night Crew, and then I will have to deal with Chris Collinsworth on Christmas.
Oh, Christmas
in Kansas City. I'm pretty sure it's the night game. Remember, because the Ravens play the Niners, but that should be at like 1. There's a 10 a.m. game, and then I'm pretty sure the night game is the Raiders Chiefs. I could be wrong. Now I want to see. Let me see.
Yeah, you're gonna.
No, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. 10 a.m.
Oh,
10 a.m.
Oh, 10 a.m. Oh, I was gonna say like Chris Collinsworth. Wow, all this red in the stadium, but I tell you, if you put Patrick Mahomes in that crowd, I could still find him.
And then it's just a video of Patrick Mahomes in the stand going, "I'm here. I'm here."
Hey, Chris, I'm here. Yeah. Pia's dad, Jose Cisneros, says they say defense wins games, but let's forget all that and just solely on offense. Who do you think will be more consistent? I think it's clearly got to be the Chiefs and the Raiders.
Oh, more consistent? Yeah, the Chiefs. That's the thing with the Raiders. Yeah, the thing with the Raiders offense. I mean, actually this is a great question because this is probably the difference of the game. Really, if both defenses are playing the way that they've played this season, it's going to be a matter of which offense can overcome that, and I think easily it's the Chiefs, right? Just because, even against the Dolphins, whose defense really has been that good, like offense was getting shut down. So if the defense for the Chiefs is playing that well, I think it's going to be a tough game. I hope it's not a blowout. I hate, like last year, I think the final game of the season was against the Chiefs, and it was just a blowout. It's never fun. I want to beat the Chiefs once this year. Man. Like I said, I mean, this is the week to do it because I don't see it in Kansas City, but that would be a hell of a way to go into the bye week.
If Pia's dad thinks that the Raiders are winning, all right, every single time I disagree with him in football, I'm always wrong, dude. So I'm still going to be picking the Chiefs. I guess he's picking the Raiders. Maybe, I got to keep a mental note. And I know his next comment is going to be, let's put a case of beer on it. I'm not going to put a case of beer on it, okay? I'm always wrong, okay? I would have no more money if I bet every single time we disagreed.
Well, I will tell you one thing. I hope he's right. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. And then also Chicano said that the fourth game, you remember how he said the next 3 home games or the next 3 games are home games for the Raiders. The fourth one is the second game at the Chiefs.
Right. Gotcha. So 3 straight home games, starting with the Chiefs, bye week, Minnesota, Chargers on Thursday night, and then go to Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
There are some winnable games in there. Being a home is being a home, right? And then I know, like I mentioned, they have the Colts and Broncos as well, and I think the Broncos game is at home. So they're not out of it or anything. It's just like I was saying, like let's just see what Antonio Pierce can do, and we'll see how it goes. And also,
Mhm.
I guess I think I've said everything I have to say about the Chiefs game. I hope they win. The Raiders. I hope the Raiders win, but I still see it being the Chiefs. But also, you can do the while we're talking here. The previous games. Putting them into the. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I got it.
But and I think I've said this
Right
an
here.
episode or two ago. But like now is a weird time for the Raiders where they're going through an interim head coach and they're starting a rookie quarterback that was not expected to be a starter this season, if not like maybe ever. It was more of like, oh, let's see what happens. Like this is like, are they in the playoff hunt? Yes. Do we really expect them to make the playoffs? Not really. We hope so, but that's tough, especially in the AFC. But I think right now, and really any time that you go through like turnover, like right now is the time to see what you have and like establish who is worth keeping. So like a week or two ago, I mentioned Spillane, right? Like I think Spillane is a guy worth keeping. What's going on?
No, nothing. I looked at I took a peek at my phone, and Pia's dad texted me. He goes, "Mark Davis was saying, where the fuck is the meth pipe?"
Oh God, he kind
Oh,
of looks the part, man.
oh, oh, no. Oh man.
Oh
Oh,
God,
that caught me off guard. That's pretty good. That's what I get for peeking at my phone. Bad.
bad.
Little slap on the wrist.
But
But
point being here, just I think for any Raider fans that watch this or you know wonder like, okay, let's say we lose to the Chiefs, and it's like, like 5-7, here we go again. We're going towards losing record, yada yada. What is there even to look forward to? To me, it's to figure out who is worth keeping, who is worth starting, who is worth being the head coach, and what are the needs of this team. What should we be looking towards in the draft, right? I'm not trying to talk about the draft yet, but there comes a point where you have to start thinking about that. Like, okay, like looking at this team, maybe right tackle, maybe left guard, maybe this position, maybe a slot receiver, maybe this, maybe that, right? Defensive tackle, another linebacker to pair with Spillane. Um, what are our big needs? So that's just something to look forward to and look at moving forward. Is who's worth keeping, where do we need help at, what's our biggest needs, and who's going to be our quarterback and who's going to be our coach, right? I think those are my big questions, mostly for postseason. But as you wind down at the end of the season, you kind of want to maybe look at it with that lens and be like, oh man, actually, we need a fucking corner, or oh, we need a safety or this. So, yeah.
mm-hmm. Yeah. So Chiefs, and Pia's dad's got the Raiders. But I'm not betting beer on that. I'm definitely not doing that. I don't. I hate it because every single time I'm wrong, and I'm never wrong. Never.